Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we relatively recently finished patch 6.2 of Endwalker, and we want to continue today. Once more unto the Void. Desiree, as always, her timing is most fortuitous. I wish to share with you news concerning Zero. You will recall that in exchange for Aether, she agreed to aid us in our search for my sister. At Y'shtola's suggestion, I began providing said Aether in the form of food. Zero has found the arrangement to be agreeable and has been eating steadily. In large part due to that, she claims to have already made a full recovery. If you and the others are ready as well, I will set forth for the Void once more. Excellent, I shall inform Y'shtola and Estinian, and then go to collect my other vessel from the alchemists. In the meantime, might I ask you to fetch Zero? She was absent when I visited her chambers earlier, but I suspect you will find her in the corridor connecting Yush and Kama. It seems she's grown partial to a view of the city at the forts. Once we have attended to our respective tasks, let us gather here.
Everyone is so carefree. Unafraid and unconcerned in spite of their weakness, and how easily their lives could be torn apart in an instant. Such luxury is a loss to us. We have no hopes or dreams, not even the release of death. Only hunger. Others are a means to an end, at times a literal one. We forge covenants with men and come here to feed, or to die. I thought it would be no different when I was summoned by Xenos. Lives were tools to him, to be used and discarded at whim. In that respect, he was a void-centered heart. But towards you, and you alone, he behaved differently. And I cannot fathom why. What was it that drove him? What made him choose such an end? But enough about that man. He is dead and we are all better for it.
Agreed?
Why are you here? Was there something you needed?
Vrtra said we should meet and prepare for our next voyage into the Void.
So you're heading back now? Then as per our bargain, I will go as well.
So much effort. I can't remember the last time I felt such fullness. I could get used to this. If you're ready to get back to it, then so am I. I've been at a great work, discussing our experiences in the Void with the alchemists. While they found much of it surprising, they were especially shocked to learn that darkness prevents souls from finding rest.
Everyone is here? Good. Let us set forth for the Void once more.
What is it? He's calling.
What is the meaning of this?
Unless I'm mistaken, that was intended for one of your kin. Who?
It was for the briefest of moments, but I felt her. Azdaja.
I thought she was in the void.
As did I. Yet the presence was unmistakable. Thus did I call out, only for it to fade and vanish.
Perhaps she crossed over to the source, then immediately turned back.
I do not know. Could she have found a way home?
The how of it aside, if she was indeed in the source, there may be clues where she came through that could lead us back to her. Where exactly was it that you felt her presence?
Far to the north. That was all I could discern.
The north, you say? Beyond the bounty? Garlemald?
As good a place to start as any. My apologies, Zero, but your return to the Void will have to wait.
I told you before that I have no reason to go back there. Do as you will.
All right. I presume you wish to stay here in Azdaja until we return?
You've kept me amply fed. I wouldn't be averse to helping you on your search.
If Azdaja was indeed here, other Voidsent may have made the journey as well. Very well. We would welcome your company.
If it's decided, then I'll contact our associates in Garlemald.
Yeah, because if Azdaja could pass through, that means it must have been a rather massive void gate or rift or something. That means a lot of other entities of void could also get through there.
It's me. Still talking everyone's ears off, I trust? Understood. We'll see you there. We're to rendezvous at Tertium. We'll need to teleport to make it there in time. Can you?
Aye. I know it well from my time as an avatar.
Then it seems we're all set.
If there is nothing else, let us see to our final preparations.
Gods revel, lands tremble. So, not to the void after all. So that was the dragon's roar. Quite a trick imbuing one's voice with ether. We have no reason to doubt Vrtra. Let's depart for Garlemald as soon as possible. Sister, was it really you? By all accounts, Azdaja is Golbas's prisoner, yet if she was in the source, it could be that she managed to escape from the void, if only for a fleeting moment. But that is mere conjecture. If we want the truth, then we must go and find it. Come, let's make for Tertium, our friends are waiting. People live in such places, do they? Not that I would presume to know their preferences, but it seems uncomfortable. I thought to depart from Rosatan sooner, but Yestola insisted I bring warmer clothes. Miss Vessel does not feel cold as such, but he reminded me that, so long as I am Vashan, it would be prudent not to appear overly conspicuous. I trust you know the associates who will be joining us. Hopefully we have been keeping well. Yeah, probably Alphinaud and Alisaie then. Maybe we're here after all.
Any moment now.
My friends, 'tis good to see you again.
And you. I was worried that the cold wouldn't agree with you, but you're both looking quite well.
You get used to it. It helps that there's no shortage of fuel and heaters like before.
Glad to hear it. Have you been working in Garlemald all this time?
We have. Though the worst is behind them, the people still have a long road ahead. They've taken steps towards forming an interim government, but it will be some time before any large-scale reconstruction effort can be carried out in earnest.
So we'll keep doing what we can until they can finally stand on their own. A lot of Garleans wanted nothing to do with us, but they're starting to come round. Slowly, but surely.
Sounds like quite the undertaking.
Indeed, it has not been easy. But we've been able to make progress thanks to the cooperation of like-minded souls. The allied nations continue to send supplies, which allow us to meet basic needs such as food and shelter. Meanwhile, Jullus and a number of soldiers have begun a restoration initiative, with more and more volunteers joining by the day.
Like Alphinaud said, they've got a long road ahead of them. But we'll get there together, one step at a time.
Though you yourself helped them take one especially big step, didn't you? In vanquishing that blasphemy in the Tower of Babel?
Yep.
Thank you. I can only hope that your deed will help the people to find peace and closure.
But enough about events here. What brings you to us? And with new company, besides.
This may take rather a long time to explain, but bear with me.
The 13th? After traveling to the edge of existence, I thought you'd keep your escapades closer to home for a while.
That had been the plan, but... plans and all that, huh?
But I suppose there's no stopping you. Not that I'm one to talk, of course.
The heart of an adventurer cannot be denied.
You could have at least invited me, too. Surely there was room enough for me and Grahar in the Undersea Vault.
I thought you were busy.
I know, I know. I only meant to tease. Mostly. But on a more serious note, are we sure it's wise to keep Xenos' former avatar around? I understand how you came to work together, but nevertheless...
You're right to be cautious. I'm a Void Sent, after all. But do not conflate me with Xenos. To recall my time in his service, it angers me.
Is that so? I think we'll get along just fine, you and I.
Now that we are all caught up, to the matter at hand. As we were about to resume our search in the void, I felt the presence of my sister Azdaja in the source. Somewhere in the far north, perhaps even here in Garlemald. If you have seen or heard anything out of the ordinary, I must know.
As a matter of fact, we may have. In recent days, we have had to contend with a surprising number of Voidsent. And not the lesser kind that occasionally manifest, but ones possessed of considerable power.
You think they might have been summoned? By whom?
We're not sure. But as Jullus reminded us, practitioners of a certain traditional Garlean art rely upon Voidsent servants. While there are no known Reapers left in Garlemald, we can't rule out the possibility that some are working in secret.
To summon not one, but several powerful Voidsent is no small feat. But if Azdaja was indeed called from the void...
Then it is likely the same party is responsible. Alternatively, the etheric confluence at the Tower of Babel may have triggered an expansion of natural fissures one could use to cross over. But I think that improbable, if not impossible.
Then we must assume these events have indeed been orchestrated.
Well, summoned or no, we've been trying to track them to their origin. It's the mountains to the east, we think.
Okay.
Can you guide us there?
I would, but the terrain is too difficult to traverse on foot. Nor is flying an option due to the winds.
Too much ground to cover in any case. Is there no way to narrow it down?
There is one place we thought to look first. An isolated village rumored to have once been home to a Reaper order.
That would indeed make an excellent start. Though the question of how to get there remains.
Jullus may be of assistance. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass and consult him.
All right. Let's go there. Come on. Full year today. Hunters, maybe? Looks like it. I had tempered my hopes, but thanks to Alphinaud and Alisaie, we might yet learn something of Azdaja. Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary here at the camp. Let us see what we find at this village. I expect it's been a while since you spoke with Jullus. He'd be glad to see you. The PB has struggled to survive as it is. The last thing we need is for Garlemald to be overrun with Voidsent. A village of Voidsent users. Lest you think I have feelings on this, I don't. What others do is not my concern. I knew the twins wouldn't disappoint. Oh, Desiree, what a welcome surprise. And I see you're traveling with a large crew as usual? Not to suggest that's an inconvenience for us. We'd be happy to share our supplies with you and your allies, should you require any. Apologies if we interrupt, Jullus, but there's a matter we wish to discuss. We just finished our routine briefing, so you come at a good time. Is this about the Voidsent? It is. From what we can discern, they're coming from the mountains to the east. Practitioners of the Reaper arts once lived in that area, did they not? Yes, they had a village there in the Lapis Manalis caverns. The Scythe wielders forged pacts with Voidsent and took to battle with the beings at their side. For a time they played an invaluable role in our military, but the advent of Magitech saw them fall out of favor. And when some were unmasked as insurrectionists, the order was outlawed. The village is believed to be long abandoned. My sister has been taken captive by Voidsent. I sensed her presence in this land and have come in search of her. If Voidsent have been sighted here, then I believe there's a connection. We should like to investigate these caverns you mentioned, but Alphinaud tells us they are not easily reached. I'm afraid so. Deep snow and tumultuous winds will out walking and flying. If you want to get anywhere, you're going to need a Magitech snowcraft. Alas, the last remaining functional one we had has broken down. It should still be over in Cerulean Indians, where it was abandoned. Is there anyone who can fix it? Perhaps the former engineers at Azdaja. Their duty included transporting cerulean tanks to Uterna Platform G using snowcraft. I expect they had to maintain a few over the years. That's worth looking into, I'd say. In the course of delivering provisions, I've come to know the people there quite well. If they can help us, I'm sure they will. May I ask you to accompany her? Given the presence of Voidsent, it's best that we avoid traveling alone. In the meantime, will you not tell me more about the mountains? I would like to learn as much as I can before commencing our search in earnest. Come with me. I'll introduce you to someone who's well versed in the local geography. Alisaie, was it? I wish to speak with you. In that case, why don't you come with us to Azdaja? We can chat on the way. I shall go and brief a contingent on the Voidsent issue, that they too may be prepared. If you want to eavesdrop, be my guest. It doesn't matter to me.
What was it you wished to talk about?
Why do you help these people? What is it that you stand to gain?
I'm sorry?
You don't act on behalf of a higher power, nor are you bound by a contract. In spite of this, you help them. Why?
And there I thought it was something serious. I help them because I want to. Because it's the right thing to do.
But what do you stand to gain? You didn't answer the question.
Didn't I? I followed my heart. What I got out of it came after. Was there anything else? If not, let's keep moving.
Right. To act not out of obligation or in pursuit of gain. To simply live. And they survive like this.
Hard to understand. We should get back to it, but before we do... Are you alright, Zero? Did I say something that confused or upset you? No. I'm simply trying to understand your perspective. If you wish to continue, I'm ready and able. Well, that's a relief. This is the sort of place you want to mull things over. It's not much farther to Tapas then. I doubt we have much trouble finding an engineer when we arrive. So let's speak with the first one we spot. Because it's the right thing to do. This is one of the engineers, I think. Wait, I know you. You're one who roughed up the guards. After you left, your contingent friends came along. Our lives are a lot easier now thanks to them. They understood our plight and offered to help, whether we wanted to stay here or return home. For that we're truly grateful. We're grateful to you too, Alisaie. The trip across the lake is hardly pleasant, but you make it all the same to bring us provisions. Oh, don't mention it. We're just glad we can help. That said, we're actually hoping to ask a favor of you today. We need a Magitech snowcraft repaired, the one abandoned in Cerulean Ingens. We are told you might be up to the task. Ah, so you want to ride the Mammoth. Mammoth? That's already took to calling the craft on account of their size. As often as I use them on rigs, I know a thing or two about their maintenance. I'll see if I can get your Mammoth roaring again. It's the least I can do to repay your kindness. Wonderful. Please come with us back to Camp Broken Glass and we'll take it from there. So far so good, Desiree. Let's be on our way. Your mortals are more sensitive to the cold than I realized. My body is made differently, so I feel nothing. Thank goodness we are able to find someone to help with repairs. Don't worry, the Mammoth is in good hands. Welcome back. I presume this is the engineer who will help us with the craft. I'll do everything I can to get her up and running again, but I doubt I'll be able to do so quickly, at least on my own. The Mammoth is big and so are its parts. Some strong backs should make the work go faster. You have ours. You finished learning about the mountain, I take it? Aye. We have a solid grasp on that area, as well as the site of the snowcraft. My back is perhaps not as strong as some, but I should be glad to stand guard for voids and other unruly wildlife. Much obliged, miss. But let's all head over to the Mammoth and sort what needs fixing. They have matters here well in hand, which means we can resume our duties. Would you care to assist us, Desiree? How about you, Zero? I will assist you as well, as payment for answering my question. It's hardly something that demands payment, but we'd be glad for your contribution nonetheless. Alphinaud and Alisaie have been added to the unending codex. Guardian Empire, Magitech. Okay. At first I didn't know what to make of Zero, but her frankness speaks to me. I like her. I can't say I understand Alisaie's answer, but a debt is a debt. My thanks for agreeing to help. The Isabah contingent brings in shipments of food, medicine, and other necessities by airship. You've yet to deliver a share of supplies to Tertium, and I would appreciate it if one of you could assist us with a task today. I'll do it. Well, Desiree, looks like you're with me then. Voids and sightings have been increasing by the day, which is why I might have a mind to go out and patrol the Eblan Rime. Shall we? Voids were spotted here not long ago. Considering the proximity to Camp Broken Glass, everyone is understandably concerned. But hopefully not for much longer. You follow this road eastward and I'll have a look to the north. If you should encounter any Voids, I won't begrudge you for dispatching them without me. Nothing. Nothing. Is there something? And north to find Alisaie, okay. to Liminal Station 4.
All finished, are we? Good. The cold doesn't let up out here, does it? They've the means to keep everyone warm at Camp Broken Glass and Tertium. But the measures are still only temporary. Subsisting on charity. Dreading the day the sympathy of others is exhausted. It's no way to live. They need lasting safety and security. Though things will never be as they once were. If we can restore a modicum of normalcy to their lives, maybe that will be enough for them to move forward. If we're to achieve that, we have to work harder. I have to work harder.
You're doing your best. Anyone can see that.
Oh? Lest you misunderstand, I wasn't fishing for a compliment. As I said, I'm doing this because I want to. Still, I appreciate your support. Well, our work here is done. We should be heading back. I hope Alphinaud and Zero haven't gotten into any trouble. I cannot imagine how awful it must have been to serve as Xenos' avatar. To not only suffer him, but so much else. She's a fighter, all right. Like you and me.